In this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to launch an info product from scratch. It's the exact same process that I use that I've generated over $2 million in the whole coaching space. In this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to launch an info product from scratch. It's the same exact system that I use that I've generated over $2 million in the whole coaching and info space. And if you stick all the way to the end, I'm going to give you a way to fast track this and pitch you on my one-on-one mentorship if you want more exclusive help. So the first thing is identifying the offer. What skill do you have? If you're a trader, that's your skill. If you're in the fitness space, that's the skill that you have right there. Whatever skill that is, first thing first is identifying and creating an offer. So what is your skill and who are you selling to, which is your ICP? ICP stands for your ideal client profile. When you are crafting and starting out your offer, the biggest mistake a lot of people make is not knowing who they're selling to. You have to understand your ICP inside and out. Now, this video is directed for people who want to get into growth operating or want to run coaching programs. So you really have to understand who the ICP is. The way to do that is just by simply having story hand raisers, asking people questions, seeing what people have bought in the past. If people have bought something in the past from this person, a quick type form, just understanding what made them buy, what are their biggest struggle, will help you with that. So understanding your ICP is extremely important. Do not mess this up, because if you don't know who you're selling to, you're not going to be able to sell to them effectively. So some of the things that you need to know with your ICP is: who are they? Who do they watch? How old are they? What are they actually struggling with? What is their goal? A lot of people think that, oh, the main goal is getting to 10K per month, to 20K per month. But if you're a trader, most traders' main goal might be just passing a funded account, right? It's maybe not getting to $10,000 a month, but it's just passing their first funded account. So understand your ICP, understand what they are struggling with. Now, once you know who you're selling to, what their biggest pain point is, what do they do for a living, where they're coming from, where they're born, who else do they watch, what have they bought in the past, where do they spend their time, money with. Once you understand who you're selling to, then it's crafting your offer. If you've been in the info space for a while, you know about Hormozzi's value equation, and this is the way you craft your offer, and this is the way a lot of people craft their offer. So what you want to do is you want to have the prospect's dream outcome times the perceived likelihood of achieving it over time delay times the effort and sacrifice they're going to have to do in order to achieving that goal, which will create value. So a good offer would be a dream outcome. Let's just say it's $10,000, making $10,000 a month. Perceived likelihood of achieving it, you would add something along the lines of, this is a one-on-one mentorship. Understand that one-on-one is the highest form of education you could give someone instead of in-person teaching. One-on-one is the highest leverage you have. So if you have it as a one-on-one mentorship, that's the highest likelihood of achieving that. Now, if it's just a course material, the perceived likelihood is not going to be that high, because it's just like a course. They don't have, access to you. Now, the way you want to do this and increase the perceived likelihood of achieving X result is by stacking things. So you get one-on-one, you get personal access, you get group calls, you get weekly Q&As, right? You want to stack it so the perceived likelihood is like, So if I get one-on-one, I get access to the creator, I get his personal phone number to contact him whenever, I get weekly calls, and I get a course material, I could probably actually achieve this, right? There's other things that you also want to do that you could go into, like the closing calls on the sales side of things that we're going to talk later, to give them a higher likelihood of achieving this goal, right? The next thing is time delay. So that's the reason why a lot of people you see have a guarantee with 90 days or your money back, or get funded in X amount of days, right? So time delay. You want to remove time delay. The lower, the shorter, the quicker they can get to their results or to their goal, the better the offer is. Now, what I'm not telling you guys to do is to have a terrible offer or to lie to people. You just really want to craft an offer that people are satisfied with. Next thing is effort and sacrifice. So the way that I look at this is that if you tell someone in order to achieve $10,000 a month, which is their dream outcome back here, if you tell them that's what they're trying to achieve and they have to hop on 5 meetings every single week, or they have to do these outrageous things, the effort and sacrifice might be way too much. So you want to lower this as much as possible. And it's not just by them showing up on meetings, but it's by things like how long it takes, what tools you have to use. If they have to learn a lot of different tools, this is one of the reasons why you really see a lot of people using things like Discord instead of school, because almost everyone knows Discord, but not everyone knows school. Right? So you also want to decrease their effort and sacrifice that they have in order to achieve their dream outcome. Now, if you do this properly, you're going to craft a very, very irresistible offer. This is something many people overlook, and I want to make this extremely clear, because if the offer isn't what your ICP wants or isn't what the market wants, you're not going to be able to sell. But if you could craft an irresistible offer for your specific client, for your specific coaching program that you're working on, that's exactly how you're going to be able to scale to 10, 20, 30, 40, even $50,000 a month as a growth operator. So once you understand who you're selling to, and you understand, how to make a really, really good offer, and you have the offer created, you then want to test it out, right? And the easiest way to testing it out is just by creating a hand raiser. Next thing, let's go into the marketing. Now, marketing is how you're going to get people in front of your offer. Many people confuse marketing with sales. Sales is converting the leads that come in. Marketing is getting people in front of your offer. Now, when it comes to marketing and getting more leads, there's really two main ways to do this. It's organic or paid ads. Now, the people that are going to be watching this, most of you guys are not going to be interested in paid ads, and it's going to be organic. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But paid ads, all it simply means is paying for leads. Organic means posting content, free content, and getting leads that way. That's a really only two main differences between the two. So the technique that I use for every single one of my clients, I call it the KLT technique, which means know, like, trust. In order for someone to buy from you, they first obviously have to know you, right? Once they know you, then eventually they'll start to like you. And once they like you, then they will trust you. The only way to do this is just by simply posting more content, right? There is no guaranteed way to go viral. There is no guaranteed way to get people to buy your coaching program. There's things you could do and there's things you shouldn't do. As a whole, what I tell my client is just to post more, right? The frequency that I have my client post is 3 TikToks a day, 2 YouTube videos a week. That's the frequency that I have, and that's what we use right now for every single one of the coaching programs that I am managing. So it's called KLT, know, like, trust, right? When people know you, eventually they'll start to like you, and then once they like you, then they trust you. And in today's day and age, if someone doesn't trust you, they're not going to buy your coaching program. So like we were talking about the offer right here, once you have your ICP and you have your offer created, then it is creating a story CTA. Now, what I want you guys to understand is that when you sign a client, your goal is to make them as much money as humanly possible, as fast as humanly possible. Now, when I talk about the value equation, when I talk about crafting a really, really good offer, it's extremely important. And if you're someone who does not know exactly how to do this, because if you mess up your offer, the chances of you succeeding or getting crazy results with your client is going to be very low. And if you're someone who wants more help in crafting a very, very irresistible offer, DM me on Instagram for access to my one-on-one mentorship. And you can do that by going below. It's going to be the first description there. Go to my Instagram and just DM me. Now, when we talk about creating a CTA, so when you do a CTA, it's very, very, very simple. And we're going to use Alex Hormozi's value equation. So now that you understand that you have to make your client money as soon as humanly possible, the way that I do this is with a CTA. And the CTA just stands for a story call to action, right? So you're gonna post a story call to action and you're gonna simply say, I'm opening 15 one-on-one spots for traders who want to get to $10,000 a month and don't want to sit staring at a screen 4 hours a day, something along the lines. Now let's go back and break this down and see exactly why this is a very, very good offer. First thing first is dream outcome, get to $10,000 a month. Next thing is perceived likelihood of achieving it. The way that I do that is one-on-one, adding one-on-one mentorship right here where you get access to the creator specifically, right? The next thing is time delay. Now, time delay, the reason why I don't add this on the story CTA is because I want to leave a little bit of curiosity on the back end of things, because once they know the exact offer, then you really have no leverage. So that's the reason why I leave time delay out of it. Time delay / guarantees, that's the reason why I don't really have that too much on stories. Next thing is effort and sacrifice, that don't want to stare at a screen X amount of time every single day. Now, I know that traders hate having to stare at screens. So, that's the sacrifice that I'm trying to get them out of, right? So we have the dream outcome, the perceived likelihood of achieving it, the time delay, and the effort and sacrifice. And that is a valuable and an irresistible offer. Now, the way that you take this further or you take this a next step is by creating a brand new mechanism, right? You see this a lot with traders, or they have their own way of trading, like ICP concepts, just naming it a different mechanism. The thing is that it doesn't even have to be something that's different, right? When it comes to marketing, when you're getting leads, guys, I want you to understand that the biggest leverage when it comes to coaching as a whole is marketing. It is getting leads. People are no longer trusting So creating a brand new mechanism doesn't even have to be different. Now, I'm not telling you guys to lie. What I'm telling you to do is, for example, a lot of people are also adding AI job shipping, AI trading, AI this, AI that. Just a brand new mechanism is something people are interested in, and it just makes it just increases the likelihood of achieving it just because it sounds new, right? Another thing that I want every single one of you guys to understand is the 7-11-4 rule. And this is exactly how people buy. So Google found that for someone to buy your product online, they have to watch 7 hours of your content at 11 different touch points in 4 different iterations. So what does that mean? 7 hours of your content, that's very, very simple. Just have 7 hours of content out, which is why I tell my clients to post 2 YouTube videos every single week minimum. 11 different touch points. So that means just 11 different times. You know, that may be today, another time next week, this morning, and then tonight, just 11 different times. 4 different touch points means maybe a YouTube video, maybe a TikTok, maybe a story, maybe a DM, maybe a Facebook, just 4 different iterations. Now, this is very, very important. This is something that a lot of people don't see, and I need you to understand when you are scaling someone's coaching program. You see right here, I write YouTube. YouTube, and the biggest issue and the hardest one that a lot of people have is the 7 hours of content because they don't post that much. And which one of these is easiest, you know, to knock this down? That's YouTube. On TikTok, it's a 30-second clip, a 45-second clip. But if you post an hour-long YouTube video and they watch this video, they're gonna know, like, and trust you. And everyone that's going to buy your product is going to have to trust you, right? And the way to doing that is by them seeing you, being with you for, you know, a longer period of time. So utilize YouTube to your advantage. And this is the way you sell in today's day and age. You're gonna see that the people who are making the most money in info have a very big YouTube brand. Very, 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 very big, right? So utilize YouTube to your advantage. Now, the next thing that's gonna bring us to is sales. Now, what is sales? Sales is the way you convert your leads into buyers, right? You convert your leads into customers, however you want to say it. I'm gonna go through the leads and kind of show you guys exactly what to do depending on where you are. So once you get your client and you understand the marketing funnel, how you're going to get leads, next thing that's gonna bring us to is sales. Now, if you're getting less than 10 leads a day, what you wanna have is a DM setter. Now, the reason why I say that is because if you have some sort of free training or your client is not that big, if what you're doing is having them go through a funnel, you know, having them go through sales pages and things like that, it's just gonna have a lot of friction. And having a DM setter inside of the DMs, just contacting these people back and forth, it feels more personal, and likelihood of your client being massive, only getting 10 DMs a day, is very, very low. So when they see a creator with like 10, 15,000 followers, or something like that, they get 10 leads a day and he's contacting them back and forth, it's more personal and you're just gonna convert better. Now you might be asking, well, Edmund, what if the client doesn't wanna close the deals? All you have to say in the DMs is that, Pepper, I'm gonna contact you, I'm gonna put you in contact with someone from my team and they'll call you right now. What's your number? Boom, that's how you do it. Hand it off. Now, if you're getting more than 10 leads a day, but less than 50, what you want to do is a sales funnel / a webinar funnel. We're going to go into more detail on those 2 funnels because those are the main ones that you're going to be utilizing when scaling coaching. Now, if you're getting more than 50 leads a day, what you want to do is have some sort of challenge or live event funnel. Now, these ones, the reason I'm not going to go into these is because they're very, very in depth. And if you want more access to that, because I don't want to just give you guys lightheaded information that you cannot use, right? I really only want to give you guys information that you can use. So if you want more access to things like challenge funnels or more in depth on how to creating these funnels step by step, where I break them down on, you know, 1 hour long calls, click the first link below, DM me on Instagram to access my one-on-one mentorship, where you're going to get access to all of these things right here on a longer format to making sure that you succeed with your client. What is a sales funnel? Now, a sales funnel is a landing page right here. I hope you guys can see this. Let me zoom in. So it's a landing page right there. Copy at the top, VSL, call to action button, and testimonials, which are these little 4 boxes right here. So your goal when you're doing this is you want the person to read the copy, watch the VSL, and then apply for one-on-one access. Now, inside of the VSL, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the prospect to watch it, get enough information for them to be able to make a decision and be interested, and then go to this page right here, which is the type form, apply for one-on-one access. And then the Typeform, what you're doing is disqualifying them, right? You're getting more than 10 leads a day. You're not really interested in hopping on all these calls or contacting these guys back and forth every single day and dealing with poor leads. So you disqualify them and kind of sift through them through a Typeform. And then from a Typeform, that's where you want to send them to a confirmation page. This is something a lot of people don't do, and is exactly what I teach every single one of my students. So a confirmation page, what this does is increase your pickup rate for your setters and closers, and it increases your closing rate because people are more qualified and they understand what they are expecting. So what a confirmation page is a 90 to 2 minute long video from the creator basically saying congratulations for applying to work with him one-on-one. Someone on my team will be contacting you soon. At the bottom of the video, there's a couple of frequently asked questions that I want you to take a look at and some testimonials, right? So FAQ questions and then testimonials. And then from there, this information is sent to a SDR, a setter, or if you just have it as a book to call funnel, then sent to the closer where you contact them, qualify them based on these Typeform answers that they have, and then keep them on the call. If they are actually qualified, if they're not qualified, then you remove them and then reschedule them. All right. The next thing is a webinar funnel. A webinar funnel is a one-to-many. Now, the way a webinar funnel and where you want to sell it better is if you're doing some sort of mid-ticket, and a mid-ticket, I would say, is anywhere between $500 to like $1,500. Any sort of mid-ticket where you really need to convey a lot of information, right? And you really want to nurture people a lot more. So a webinar funnel is landing page, call to action button, testimonials, and results. There's no VSL here just because the VSL is the webinar, right? So from there, then it's a confirmation page, which is a video, and then the next steps. So the next steps are things like, okay, go ahead and copy this link right here for your live event class. Go ahead and, save this link. Go ahead and go watch a couple of YouTube videos, things like that. And then you send that to a SDR, which contacts them before the live event or before the webinar, just ensuring that they'll show up. And then last but not least, you have the webinar where you sell them on the product at the end, right? There's two ways to doing a webinar. You could either one have it a book to call, or you could just sell at the end. Test both out, figure out which one works best for you. Now, what metrics should I be hoping for, Edmund? Now, you might be asking, Edmund, what metrics should I be expecting or what should I be hoping for? So once you're running a funnel, what my agency and what my coaching offers typically have is a 40% or more close rate, which is pretty solid. And then you want to expect that show up rate of 75% or more, right? And then the way you want to be tracking this is through Google Looker for your clients. If you need help setting this up, just DM me on Instagram. This is exactly what I offer my students in my one-on-one mentorship. So the next and last thing is scaling your coaching offer, which is all the way over here. I hope you guys can see this, right? It's scaling. So once you have your offer, you have leads coming in, you have the funnel set up, then it's selling people. And then once you have, a couple of sales, then it's how do you scale? The biggest issue everyone's going to have in the whole coaching space is getting leads, right? That's going to be the biggest bottleneck. Now there's three main ways to getting leads. Now there's three main ways to fixing the bottleneck. Number one is you maximize the leads that you already have. So if you're getting 30 leads, all you have to do is really just maximize those leads if you don't think you get more, or if the client doesn't want to try, and get more leads, right? The way you do that is by hiring better SDRs, better sales reps. You hire a better setter, a better closer. The next thing is optimizing the systems, adding things like speed to lead, adding things like pipelines, and go high level pipeline changes, adding a follow-up sequence, an email sequence, an SMS blast. So you just want to maximize the leads that you already have. And that's by following up with them more and by, extending their life. The second steps with this bottleneck is by getting better leads. Now, this one's a little bit harder because it takes a lot more time. It takes a lot more money. Let me actually rank this. This is number one, the easiest thing to do, number two, and then number three. Second thing is getting better leads. And this is just by simply posting higher quality content, posting bottom of the funnel content, which means videos that aren't going to get a lot of views, but the views that they do get are very, very qualified and are ready to buy. More testimonials, and just simply growing more as a creator, right? And the third and last thing you can do is run paid ads. Now, the reason I'm not going to go into too much detail on this is because a lot of you guys aren't going to be running paid ads. So that's exactly how you launch an info product from scratch, A through Z breakdown. If you're someone who is struggling as a growth operator, does not have a client, I have an offer for you. So I have my one-on-one mentorship where I guarantee your client within 3 weeks or your money back. And to get access to that or to get more details on exactly what I provide in there, go down below, go to my Instagram and just DM me, and then we'll talk and see if this is something that you're interested in. If you are interested in, I'll tell you more about the offer. If you're not, then you know, that's it. But thank you for watching this video. If you liked, obviously like the video. If you didn't like it, then let me know why you didn't like it. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one.